Welcome to part two of our COVID-19 spread analysis in SAP Analytics Cloud. In the second part, I actually figured we would look at how the predictive models actually work in Analytics Cloud. So if you remember, when we first went through it, we analyzed through the map and had a good idea what's happening here. Went very quickly over this chart, showing a trend going up, and actually initially it seemed to be slowing down. But what exactly is Analytics Cloud doing to do those analysis here? If you take a quick look, you can go and see what we actually had done in forecast was to do an automated forecast. But what is the automated forecast and what are the advanced options that are available in here? So this is the objective of our presentation today. So if you're really interested in understanding that, this is what we'll spend the next few minutes on. Afterwards, obviously, if you're a data scientist, you may seem this is quite restrictive. You're not able to go into too much detail. So we'll go and show you up to where you're actually able to go in Analytics Cloud with options going on as deep as R programming, which really enables you to do full-fledged predictive analysis forecasts in Analytics Cloud. The first thing we'll be looking at is the automated forecast. This is something quite simple. You can do in any story where you actually have a time series, and which will actually generate a forecast. But what is that forecast exactly? First thing it does, it looks at trends. Is it going up? Is it going down? It's trying to figure out maybe linear regressions, other algorithms it's trying to apply and figure out, okay, what's the trend? After that, is there a cycle? Could be a 10-day cycle, could be a 3-month cycle, could be a full year cycle, different seasons, something at Christmas if you're looking at sales. So it's going to be looking for cycles. Also fluctuations that are standard that it can figure out in the statistics, and any residual information that actually stands out in the information. Based on all of this, the machine learning in Analytics Cloud is going to apply different algorithms and try to find the best fit for your forecast. So this brings us to this chart here where automated forecast was applied. So if I go here, I go forecast, automated forecast. So this is really what I just explained that was applied here. Maybe I want to go further. Maybe I know it's just a linear regression. There's no point, there's no cycle, nothing. So let's apply linear regression, and this is a forecast I want to see because I'm actually looking for a trend. Or triple exponential smoothing. If you don't know too much what that is and wonder how is that actually going to help you, look at it as an enhanced weighted average. Simply put, and I'm simplifying here, you have your data that's obviously trending over time. You may have a curve, and it actually weights the most recent information more than the old information. So if the trend is changing in the recent data, it's actually going to apply it. It's also going to look for trends. So if every 3 months, every year, there's a very clear cycle that it can find in here, it's going to apply it. If you're approaching that season, it knows that typically it's going to go down in that period, but it needs multiple cycles to figure it out. So COVID information we're looking at right now, which is a very recent trend, it's going up, it's the only trend it's finding. So obviously, it's not going to find any additional information. And the last one, this one is actually quite interesting, is if you have other information that could affect these numbers. So we could imagine population here, our population levels influencing the numbers. I tried, didn't bring out anything because the way it works a bit too much by region right now. So adding population didn't really enhance our forecast. But you probably have information if in your sales there's some weather information. You need past information and weather forecast. In summer it's warmer, in winter it's colder, obviously. So you could put future forecasts in there for weather and see how much of an impact the system actually applies to its predictive forecast in the system. So this is the standard forecast you can find in a story. If you want to go a bit further than just these standard forecasts, there's the whole predictive functions that are available in Analytics Clouds where you can actually do a time series. So in this case here, there wasn't much information. It built a standard trend, didn't find much cycles, trends, or anything really that helped. But at least it was able to build a simple forecast based on sales data I was having. Now, if I go and want to create a new one, I have a few of those predictive models that I can actually use and apply on classification, time series, regression, which all enable you to put a few extra variables, like the ones I showed you, and exclude some information, exclude some variables, put some more additional inputs, uh, set up some additional parameters, and which enable you to do some of those predictive scenarios that are actually quite advanced. The final one is you want to go even one step further. You want to do it in R. So if you don't know R, this is a great introduction. Let's admit myself, I'm probably at the R101 level, but I was able to create here a linear regression based on that curve here for COVID data. So how does this work in Analytics Cloud? What I can actually do is in Analytics Cloud, I have the whole power of R, and R is an open source statistical language that's used in universities and everywhere nowadays. So it's one of the top languages used for statistics. So I was able first to restrict what I wanted to look at. So my dates, I did not have to do that in code. So anyone who's used to R, and you really need to set up everything in R, at least some of those initial steps are a bit simpler to do. I was able to define what measures I wanted, what dimensions from SAC I wanted to use through a real drop-down menu we could use in Analytics Cloud. So I was able to filter for the US, actual information, confirmed, deaths, and recovered, and apply that to my model here. And then I was able to just go and edit the script. So Analytics Cloud is all about this scripting. So everything you need to code, but anyone who's used to it, you can maximize it. You literally have a development window where you can put your code. So this is information coming out directly from SAC. So it works with your SAC data. You're able to plot that information on a chart. So that's my regular information here where I'm plotting the deaths by date out of my SAC model. Then I try to build information on linear regression that I load into a model, and then I'm able to plot that linear regression on that same model. And this is the blue line you see here. So I know if you've done a lot of R, this is quite simple, but you have access to the whole power of R here. So if you need to go further than the standard information that you found in Analytics Cloud, well, here it is, and you then integrate it, and you can do things that looks much nicer than the one I quickly did here that really will integrate with your Analytics Cloud model. So, hope you appreciated this, and please don't hesitate to join back later on and actually get back to me if you want additional information, if you want me to dig down further in one of the subjects I addressed today, really do not hesitate. Thank you.